大家好，我是小满。众所周知，中国是制造业大国，而印度一直想从咱们手中分一杯羹，天天喊着印度制造的口号，说着要投入几千个亿发展制造业。结果呢，就在前几天，印度前国大党主席拉胡尔·甘地在一所大学演讲时，就把印度制造的真相揭露出来。他说，我们的大财阀什么东西都造不出，麦克风是中国的，手机是中国的，全是在倒卖中国货。他在痛心疾首地质问，为什么要让中国成为世界的工厂，而不是印度？让我们来听听这位看似清醒的印度政客是怎么疯狂输出的。
The second thing is, actually India is not successful at AI. This is something you have to understand. There are two players in the AI game. The first is the United States and the second is China. India, unfortunately, whether it is in robotics or in AI or in modern technology, is not really a major player. Certainly not when compared to the United States or the Chinese. And you could see in the AI summit itself, there was a Chinese robot masquerading as an Indian robot, right? Now, people who actually understand these things know them. If you want to be powerful at AI, you have to control your own data. That's the simple thing. The Americans are powerful at AI, are good at AI, because they have access to global data. When you send a WhatsApp, do you guys use WhatsApp? Who do you think controls the data? Meta. India doesn't control the data. The United States controls the data, right? Pretty much any information that is moving on India's communication system, on our phones, is owned and controlled by the United States. That's not the case with China. China owns its own data. There's no WhatsApp in China. So if you want to actually become a serious player in AI, the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure that you have access and control of your data. This US deal that has just been done by the Prime Minister has handed over our entire data to the United States. The United States can now keep Indian data wherever they like. American companies will not be taxed on the data front, right? So we have actually damaged our potential for AI tremendously in the last couple of weeks. If you're talking about modern technology, what we are seeing right now is a complete transformation of the way we move. Are there engineers in the room here? Okay. So what is happening is we are moving from the petrol engine and petrol to the electric motor and the battery. And whoever controls the electric motor and the battery is going to basically control technology in the future. And once again, we're not a serious player in that game, right? And the reason is that our big businesses, the Ambanis and the Adanis of this world, actually do not produce anything. They are in the business of selling Chinese product in India. They're in the business of selling Chinese phones, Chinese microphones, Chinese computers in India. And if we are serious about technology and we are serious about AI, then the first thing we have to do is control our data. And the second thing we have to do is start making things. Making computers, making electronic items, making televisions, making fridges, making these things. Because technological advancement is going to come either from data or from manufacturing. And you will see, you won't like what I'm going to say, but you're going to see that jobs in the services industry, jobs in the software industry, which were the mainstay of our country, which served us really well, are going to be wiped out by AI. Right? So, what I'm worried about is that there is a transition taking place there is a transition taking place on the data front, and there is a transition taking place on the manufacturing front, on the mobility front, and we are just looking. America is dominating one side of it, the data in the West. China is dominating the other side of it, and China is the only one who's making anything in the world today. This microphone probably made in China, your shoes probably made in China, your watch probably made in China. So your responsibility, we talked about politics versus politicians. Your responsibility is to ask a couple of simple questions. Number one, why are we not controlling our data? Why is our data not, it is the wealth of our people. Why is it not in our hands? Why is it being given away for free? Second, why are we not producing anything? Because if we don't produce anything, the vast majority of Indian children, youngsters cannot get jobs. Because jobs are going to come out of manufacturing. So these are the political questions that you should be asking. Why is it that we are allowing China to become the producer of the world? The factory of the world? Why are we not doing it? Number one. Number two, why is all our data, which is our wealth, wealth of the people of Kerala, wealth of the people of India, being handed out just for free to Meta, Facebook, WhatsApp, Google, and all these people? These are the two fundamental questions, political questions that you have to ask. And this is, if you answer this question, you can solve the riddle of why millions of young Keralites are being forced to leave this state and go and work in other parts of the world. If you don't solve these two, if we do not solve these two problems, then we're going to be stuck with nothing being made here, no jobs being created here, and our youngsters being forced to go outside this country.
Thank you.
We are all aware of the war going on between Israel and Iran. Do you think this war could affect India adversely?
Yeah, hugely.
How do you think it will?
First of all, on the surface, it looks like a war between America, Israel, and Iran. It's actually a conflict between America, China, and Russia. That's the real players are America, China, and Russia. And the conflict is taking place in Iran, in Ukraine, and in other places. But the real conflict, the big conflict, is that we have a superpower called the United States, and we have a challenger called China. And the United States is trying to make sure it remains the superpower, and China is slowly advancing closer and closer to the United States. So that's the broader picture. The Middle East is the center of energy production in the world. So pretty much all energy that is being utilized, or a huge chunk of it, is coming from the Middle East. Right? The cars that you're driving, the buses, the cars, most of it is coming from there. And that is now being constricted. The Strait of Hormuz is blocked. The Americans are attacking Iran. Iranians are attacking the American assets. But the story for the rest of the world is, you guys are fighting, but we are also going to pay the price. And how is India going to pay the price? Directly, because of our energy reliance on the Middle East. Huge part of our oil comes from the Middle East. That is going to get very expensive. That is going to get disrupted. Prices in India are going to rise. Fuel in India is going to become more expensive. Economic growth in India is going to slow down. And so we have to be very careful about what we do. And by the way, this is not only about the Iran-Israel-America conflict. This is the world we are now moving into. You will see that more and more conflicts of this nature are going to come. There is already one in Ukraine. Millions of people have been killed. Now there's one in Iran. But these conflicts, at least for this period, for this transition period, they're going to increase. And you're going to see more and more of them. So India has to understand that we are now entering a violent time, dangerous time. So we have to be very clear on what our policy positions are, on why we do what we are doing, and how we are maneuvering through this dangerous period. Because if we don't, and we get caught in the fight, then we are in serious trouble. China's on our border, and America's our ally. And they're getting ready to fight. So we have to be very careful where we are standing, and that we don't suddenly get sucked into their fight.
If you were the one making decisions, what would be the changes that you will make to safeguard us Indians?
The single most important thing for any country is to know what its strength is. And because it's your strength that protects you. Right? So India's strengths are very clear. India's strength is harmony and diversity. That means India's strength is that we bring people together, we create harmony, even though people are very different. In the 21st century, something fantastic has happened, which never happened before. Which is that any information, regardless of what it is, suddenly has value. You send a WhatsApp from here to there, it has value. Automatically. Right? Your medical history has value. We call that data. So for us, if we want to be a powerful country, we have to understand that we have the largest pool of data on the planet. The only comparable pool of data to us is China. We have 1.4 billion people, they have 1.4 billion people. Size is the same. Basic amount of data being created is similar. This is like our central resource. And this is what is going to protect us. So we have to make sure that it is secured and that our people benefit from it. Not American companies, not the United States. Please understand one more thing. That in the fight between China and America, what do you think is the single most important asset? If you're American and you're competing with China, what do you think is the single most important asset? Try. Huh? Indian data. Because the United States understands very clearly that without Indian data, the United States cannot remain a superpower. It is only the United States combined with Indian data that can compete with China. Without Indian data, America can never compete with China. This is something they realize, but we don't realize. Our political class doesn't realize. Our students don't realize. In fact, before I told you, I don't think you would think about it. That actually Indian data is like, oil in the 20th century. Countries that had oil in the 20th century, America, Russia, Saudi Arabia, they used that oil to develop. The same way, data is like oil. And we have the biggest pool. But we're just gifting it. We're just giving it away for free. So these to me are the two central things that we got to make sure. That we have data, that our people are harmonious, protected, comfortable, not fighting among each other. And then the third thing is, can we get into competing with China on production? Can we start to make these things, shoes, watches, this, in India, and can we make it competitively with China? If we do these three things, nobody's going to touch us. Nobody can touch us, nobody will be able to touch us. But if we give away our data, if we don't produce anything, and our people are fighting with each other, then we're in trouble. And my problem is that that's the path we're on. The path we're on is, our people are being made to fight. One religion is being made to fight another religion. One language is being made to fight another language. One caste is being made to fight another caste. We're not producing anything, and we're just handing over our biggest asset to the United States. So that's actually what my political fight is about.
拉霍尔甘地其实就想说明一个道理：天天在网上敲键盘骂别人，却造不出哪怕一颗螺丝钉。印度现在面临的问题是，青年人找不到工作，被迫背井离乡，国内还在天天搞内斗，而最宝贵的数据财富却被美国的大手死死攥着。这位印度老哥给新一代的年轻人上了一堂深刻的政治课。不过小满有个小小的疑问：美国用印度网友的数据训练 AI， 真的不会出问题吗？